things in OBS. Hopefully this actually works okay. Let's see. Am I live? No. Should be live. No. Right. There. So I need this link. I'll start in a sec. Stream on another device. You would think I'll be good at starting a live stream by now. Been doing it for a while. But no, it's still full of surprises. Just posted in another group that LinkedIn suggested, but the post is not actually there. Yeah. No, it is there. I can actually see it in the feed. Start in a sec. Hopefully someone can join in. Sometimes we'll join and they don't know what I'm talking about. So all the information is available at this URL. Just put it in the chat. Let's start quickly. I'm gonna finish this web application. Let's make this a bit smaller. Let's stop this for a sec. We'll restart it manually. Also, so we can get this link. Right. So that's what it looks like. It's this intracranial 16-channel EEG, 400 Hertz sampling rate. This recording has some seizures in it. You can see it in there. This is where seizures end. This is roughly where they begin. Just sample of this should actually say how many seconds this sample is. Just make it a bit smaller, just so we can test the earlier previous stream. We were working on this separation value. So when you change that, I don't know why it's going the other way, but that's working fine. They will be overlaid, and if you go below, they will be separated further apart. And 2000 is the default option. Now we also have this overlay options. default is off, looks just like default. And group by side, we have 8 channels on the left and 8 channels on the right, so we want to be able to group them by left and right. So this is what this button should be doing. It's not working at the moment, so that's the one we will be working on. And let's just comment on, normally we use this advanced data analytics for development. That's what used to be called the code interpreter, but now just using the plain GPT-4. And let's begin. So pop this HTML because it will be asking for it anyway. Normally have that was it 50 prompts per 3 hours, which ends up to be a prompt.
It looks like you've shared an HTML template
minutes.
for a NeuroVista EEG data viewer web page. The page appears to be designed to display 16 channels of intracranial EEG data sampled at 400 Hz. The UI offers various controls, such as a drop-down menu for overlay options and a slider for setting the separation value between EEG traces. Is there a specific question or issue you'd like help with regarding this HTML code? Would you like a review, suggestions for improvement, or something else?
It's actually good that it's not just starting giving you a lot of text. Kinda like it.
You've shared JavaScript code that appears to be a part of a larger web application, possibly developed with Flask on the back end. This script fetches EEG plot data from a Flask server, initializes a plotly plot to visualize the data, and provides interactive features such as changing overlay options and separating channel waveforms. Here's a quick rundown of the main functions and what they do. DOM content loaded event listener waits for the DOM to fully load before executing the script. Fetch data fetches data from a Flask endpoint and initializes the plotly plot. Resize plot resizes the plotly plot when the window is resized. Update overlay updates the overlay settings based on user input. Update separation updates the separation between channel waveforms based on a slider value. Event listeners listens for changes in the overlay options and separation value, as well as window resize events. Would you like a review of this code, suggestions for improvements, or help with a specific issue?
We will need help in a sec. Just pop this up.
You've shared a Flask application that serves a plotly plot visualizing EEG data. The code reads EEG data from a text file into a Pandas data frame, manipulates the data, and generates a plotly figure using plotly express. Here's a quick rundown of the key parts. Create _plot figure. This function reads the EEG data, manipulates it for better visualization, and creates a plotly figure. At app.root, the plot function serves the HTML template and embeds the plotly plot. At app.root, get _plot data. This root returns the plot data as JSON, which can be fetched and rendered on the client side. Fig.to_dict. This converts the plotly figure to a dictionary, which is then returned by the get _plot data endpoint. Here are some suggestions for improvement. Consider moving the data loading logic into a separate function to improve code reusability and readability. It would be good to add more specific error handling in the get _plot data endpoint. Right now, you catch all exceptions, but specific error messages could make debugging easier. Currently, the file path for the EEG data is hard-coded. You might consider making this configurable through environment variables or a config file. You're converting Numpy arrays to lists in the create _plot figure function. This is essential for JSON serialization, but a comment explaining why you're doing this could be helpful for future maintainers. Would you like to dive deeper into any of these areas?
Right, so we want to, where is it? We want to dive deeper into the overlay options, specifically when changing the value between default and grouped by side.
Certainly. The overlay options are controlled by the JavaScript function update overlay. This function updates the plotly chart based on the selected overlay option, either default, group by side, or overlay all. Here's how it works in your code. Default. In this mode, the traces, channels, are displayed as is, without any special grouping or styling. Group by side. In this mode, the traces from the left and right hemispheres should be grouped together. However, in your code, you are just setting the color array to the colors array for all traces, which doesn't really group them by side. You might want to set distinct colors or styles for the left and right hemisphere traces. To implement a more functional group by side option, you could consider the following changes. In this example, I've set the colors for the left hemisphere channels to red and the right hemisphere channels to blue. You can replace red and blue with any color codes or names that you prefer. Would you like further clarification on this?
Okay, we want the color settings to be the same all the time, regardless of the overlay option. When overlay by side option is selected, we want the traces to be separated into two groups. One is of the left channels, so 1 to 8, and another one of the right channels, so the other 8 channels. Again, the colors should remain the same all the time. The color array should always be used.
If you want the colors to remain constant regardless of the overlay option, but you want the traces to be separated into two groups, one for the left channels and one for the right channels, when group by side is selected, you can modify the update separation function. In the current implementation, the function shifts each channel's data points up or down based on the slider value for separation. You can add an additional check to see if group by side is selected and, if so, perform additional separation between the left and right channels. Here's how you could modify the update separation function. In this example, I've added an additional offset of 4000 to the right channels when group by side is selected. You can adjust this value to suit your needs. This will separate the traces into two groups, one for the left channels and one for the right channels. Is this along the lines of what you're looking for?
Kind of. Just give me a sec. Separation function. It's this one. This one is never being used. Why? The same. The same. Have new trace assign. It's the same. If array new trace, let Okay, this is different. Happened to the separation value. So we don't have this separation value if miss. Where were we? Index. Okay, how about update separation? Just replace.
In this example, I've added an additional offset of 4000 to the right channels when group by side is selected. You can adjust this value to suit your needs. This will separate the traces into two groups, one for the left channels and one for the right channels.
Okay, it's not changing back to what it was. Right. Yeah, it should be something like that. Why is the texture not changing? Network. There's nothing in network. It's changing the first time around when I'm loading the page. No, that's fine. Um, yes, this number should be much larger, like 10,000 or so, and also yeah, when we do group by side, wait a second, to understand how this numbers, so if 2000 you have 0, then 4000, it's not changing back. No, it is changing back but not refreshing. Yeah, these numbers should be dynamic. They shouldn't be. That's the outcome I want. So there's a couple of things. Okay, there are a couple of things. The group by side, when selected, the number separation offset should be a 4000 is okay, but also the offset between channels, the separation value should be 4000 as well. That will make the two groups of 8 channels overlaid. So the 8 channels in each group are overlaid on top of one another. I don't know if that makes any sense, but...
Ah, I see. If you want both the separation between the two groups, left and right channels, and the separation between the channels within each group to be 4000 when group by side is selected, you can adjust the update separation function like so. In this updated function, if group by side is selected, the separation value, sep value, is set to 4000. Additionally, for right channels, assuming they are indices 8 to 15, an additional 4000 is added to separate them from the left channels. This should overlay the 8 channels in each group on top of one another while separating the two groups by 4000 units.
Yeah, let's start this reload the page. We have a group by side. Didn't work. No change in there. Yeah, this one. Right. It's an important change, isn't it? It's always jumpy on reload. Stop working altogether. Feels like they're canceling one another. That separation value. Separation value doesn't feel like what's being displayed in here is the scaled span separation value display. Is that A7? It's a constant value. Separation value display. So yeah, we probably need to remove that. Also, can we print the separation value out every time it changes?
The error assignment to constant variable is likely because sep value is declared with const, making it immutable. If you need to change its value, you should declare it with let. For printing the separation value every time it changes, you can use console.log within the update separation function. Here's the updated code.
I'm printing a what is it? Document get element separation value.
This updated function uses let for sep value and also logs the current separation value every time it changes.
In the logs in JavaScript, do they appear in the browser? Assume so. It's this annoying bit in the when you load. So separation value is 2000. That should have changed. and group by side. Pop this. The group by side doesn't behave as expected. Also, the colors, can we make sure the colors using the preset color scheme all the time?
To ensure that the colors follow the preset color scheme all the time, you can set the colors just after initializing the plotly plot and before setting up the other functions. This way, the color scheme remains constant regardless of the overlay option. For the issue of group by side not behaving as expected, it seems that the update separation function is not correctly applying the separation value when this option is selected. I noticed that you've defined a variable offset but are not using it when updating the y values of the traces. Here's the updated code snippet that addresses both issues.
Right, it is spot on. Makes all perfect sense. Let's go over the code.
Here are the key changes. Set the preset color scheme right after initializing the plotly plot. In the update separation function, use the offset variable to adjust the y values of the traces. Try integrating these changes into your code and see if the issues are resolved.
Let's see, this will be a bit daunting. What? It's the code snippet. You plot. Do we have it? Return. Right, then function console plot is the same. Right, we want the colors to be over here. Const. Const colors, plotly update. Wanna update the colors straight away. Update. Don't do plotly update at the moment. Have to do it manually. So plotly update over there. This code. Right. Okay, so we have the colors. Separation works. Now this group by side. So we have 8 channels on the left, 8 on the right. That doesn't work. Yeah, let's see. Plotly update colors, update separation. Can just a format document. Right, update separation. We already had it, so it's not newly added. Rest of the code. Now update separation. This function. That's the same. Value is the same. select option, overlay option, current separation value, set value, plot, get element by ID, trace, index, trace, now offset should be defined over here. Let's comment this out for my document. Oops. Selection is grouped. Okay, is this function complete? Just want to copy it. The date separation.
Set the preset color scheme right after initializing the plotly plot. In the update separation function, use the offset variable to adjust the y values of the traces.
And now the separation value doesn't take effect, which kind of makes sense. It doesn't go back to what it was. It only does when you change the value. Looks like when changing the overlay option, the chart is not updating. Did we forget an event checker monitor? Yes.
Yes, it seems you've set up an event listener for changes in the overlay options dropdown, which calls update overlay. However, the update overlay function only changes line opacity and color, not the separation between the lines. To make the plot update when you change the overlay option, you should also call update separation within the update overlay function or set up a separate event listener for it. Here's how you can modify the update overlay function to also call update separation. In this modification, update separation is called at the end of update overlay. This ensures that the separation between the lines is updated whenever the overlay option changes. This should allow the chart to update correctly when changing the overlay option.
At the end of update overlay. No, wait. To restart this, there's this funny thing happening. Right, now it's working. It's working. And this, yeah, it says expecting won't take an effect. Right. That's exactly what we wanted. The colors should remain the same. That's great. And overlay all should just overlay all as so we're splitting left and right. Default is still off, so that's working okay. And on reloading the page, we have this weird thing going on where the window is not scaled to begin with. It's appearing smaller than larger, so that's a bit annoying. Also in group by side, the separation value is not updated. I assume it's 4000. Also, when overlay all is actually not doing anything, so overlay all overlay option is the same as off, which is the default.
I'm glad to hear that most of the functionalities are working as expected. Let's address the remaining issues one by one. Window scaling on page reload. If the plot appears smaller and then enlarges, it could be due to the resizing logic or the default layout. You can try calling resize plot immediately after plotly. New plot is called to ensure that the plot takes up the full available space. Separation value not updating in grouped by side. If the separation value is not displaying as 4000 when grouped by side is selected, make sure to update the displayed separation value in the update separation function. This might be as simple as updating document, get element by ID, sep value display, text content equals sep value, after setting sep value to 4000. Overlay all, not working. If this is behaving the same as off, you might need to explicitly set the lines to overlay each other in the update separation function when this option is selected. This will set the Y values of all traces to the same scale. Here's how you can update the update separation and update overlay functions. For the issue with the plot resizing on reload, you can try to call resize plot right after plotly, new plot. Incorporate these changes and let's see if these issues get resolved.
This resize plot thing, size plot function, small function, doesn't do much. Don't know why it's even needed, but update separation. Console log. So the resize size plot should be happening in the beginning somewhere. After initializing the plot. I'll take it out of here. I don't think it's needed there. I don't know why it's needed at all. Plotly new plot. So it should be somewhere. Return should be plotly new plot over here, then function console log. So it should be here somewhere. Size plot. Let's see if that solved that annoying thing in the beginning when loading page. By the way, hopefully this page will become still does something funny. Will become available on the website. Currently there's a bit of a placeholder there. Yeah, it does see this thing in the beginning, but the size is the same. Is the size the same now? Before this whole plot area will, yeah, be smaller like this, and then it will resize. It's weird. Okay, we'll leave it at that. We had another problem was, so this grouped by side is working correctly. So we have 8 channels on the left, 8 on the right. So this grouping works. Off is just showing them default value. Same separation value that you can change over here. You can make it smaller or larger. When grouped by side, this would not work anymore, and they grouped just overlaid, almost overlaid on top of one another. And when overlay was it so this should default with 2000. And let's see, we haven't incorporated this yet.
Window scaling on page reload. If the plot appears smaller and then enlarges, it could be due to the resizing logic or the default layout. You can try calling resize plot immediately after plotly. New plot is called to ensure that the plot takes up the full available space. Separation value not updating in group by side. If the separation value is not displaying as 4000 when group by side is selected, make sure to update the displayed separation value in the update separation function. This might be as simple as updating document, get element by ID, sub value display, text content equals sub value, after setting sub value to 4000. Overlay all, not working. If this is behaving the same as off, you might need to explicitly set the lines to overlay each other in the update separation function when this option is selected. This will set the Y values of all traces to the same scale.
Right, so let's go over update separation function. So I have this do the same grouped selected group. Display. So we're adding that bit to update the separation value display. Now in update overlay, update overlay. And we are doing that already. So that should be it. We're now expecting. So this is what it looks like when loading the first time around. When group by side, yeah, it should be 4,000. This slider should be 4,000 as well. Overlay all. No, this is off.
Overlay all, not working. If this is behaving the same as off, you might need to explicitly set the lines to overlay each other in the update separation function when this option is selected. This will set the Y values of all traces to the same scale.
Overlay off. There's no third. Overlay off. Overlay off is still not working. It's the same as the off option at the moment. Also, when the separation value is updated, it's only updating the number but not updating the scroller. How do we fix those? Feels like should be
Overlay all
wrapping
not
up.
working. If
5
the
minutes.
overlay all option behaves the same as the off option, you may need to explicitly set the traces to overlay on each other in your update separation function. Separation value not updating on the scroll. If the separation value displayed is not being reflected in the plot, there might be an issue in how the value is being updated in the update separation function. Overlay all not working. In the update separation function, you can add a condition to set all the Y values to the same scale when overlay all is selected. This will effectively overlay all the traces. Separation value not updating on the scroll. In your update separation function, you're updating sep value twice, once at the beginning and again inside the loop. This could be causing the issue. Also, to update the slider, you can set its value programmatically. Here's a modified part of your code addressing these issues. These changes should make the overlay all option work by setting all the Y values to the same scale. Update the separation value in the plot and set the slider's value to 4000 when group by side is selected. Make the overlay all option work by setting all the Y values to the same scale.
Right, let's see. Start from the bottom. It's the offset just today. We already have that, I'm pretty sure. Yes, offset 0. Right, we need another condition in this loop. So let offset separation value if the index that's 0 there. It's like forgetting other things. I don't think this is correct. What? This is the same. The sign tray is the same. Separation value is the same. So if selected grouped, else if yeah, it doesn't look right. How about the separation value in there? Okay, we can try this. This already included in there. Now we know. Wait. No, that was working okay. What? Just yes, we need that bit. Else if section overlay all offset. What's the difference between Yeah, let's see. So if grouped, doing offset of 4000. We don't need that. Else if the option is overlay all, the offset is 0. It's legit. Plus offset here. Oh, my microphone's playing up. Let's see. Restart this page. I don't know why it's loading in a small window and then increasing it after about 5 seconds or so. Okay, that didn't work. Group by side works okay. Off. And what's up with this? Should be printing out the separation value. Anyway, we went over an hour, so might give it a break now. Does look pretty good so far, so keep testing. If anyone wants to test this for me, I'll make it available on the website, and we'll work from there. See you later. Bye.